Listen to me for a minute. Not tomorrow, not after your exams, not when you finally feel motivated. Right now. Because if you clicked on this video, there is a very high chance you are trapped. And I don't mean trapped in a bad schedule or trapped in school pressure. I mean trapped inside a cycle that steals your time, kills your focus, and slowly destroys your confidence without you even realizing it. A cycle that starts every morning the exact same way. You wake up, you grab your phone, you tell yourself just 5 minutes, but 5 minutes becomes 50, then it becomes 2 hours, and before you know it, your day feels ruined, your brain feels heavy, your chest feels tight, and you start hating yourself a little more. And the worst part is not even the time you wasted. The worst part is the fear, that scary feeling deep inside you that whispers, "What if I can't stop? What if this is my life now? What if I'm becoming the kind of person who never achieves anything because I'm addicted to dopamine?" Let me say something clearly before we go deeper. You are not lazy. You are not weak. You are not broken. You are not just undisciplined. You are simply overstimulated. Your brain is not failing you. Your brain is doing exactly what it was designed to do: chase pleasure, avoid pain, and conserve energy. The problem is, the world today has hacked that system. Your phone has hacked your brain, social media has hacked your attention, short videos have hacked your reward system, and the reason you can't stop scrolling is not because you're a bad person, it's because this system is designed to keep you addicted. It's designed to keep you numb. It's designed to keep you distracted, because distracted people are profitable. And I'm not going to give you motivational quotes today. I'm not going to tell you just be disciplined, because you've heard that already and it didn't work. Today, I'm going to give you the truth that nobody tells you, the real reason you can't stop scrolling, and how to fix it in a way that actually works. Let's talk about dopamine. Dopamine is not happiness. Dopamine is not pleasure. Dopamine is the chemical of wanting, the chemical of desire, the chemical that pushes you to chase. It's what makes you crave. It's what makes you say one more video, one more reel, one more post, just one more scroll. Your brain doesn't actually want satisfaction. It wants pursuit. It wants novelty. It wants new stimulation. That's why you can scroll for hours and still not feel full, because dopamine doesn't feed you. Dopamine makes you hungry. Now think about your phone. Every swipe gives you uncertainty. Maybe the next video will be funny. Maybe the next one will be better. Maybe the next one will teach you something. Maybe the next one will impress you. That uncertainty is what makes it addictive. It's the same psychology behind gambling. It's variable reward. Your brain is being trained like a machine. Swipe, reward, swipe, reward, swipe, reward. Even when the video is boring, your brain still believes the next one might be amazing, so it keeps chasing. And while you're chasing, something dangerous happens. Your brain becomes less sensitive to normal life. Small joys become dull. Studying feels painful. Reading feels boring. Working feels heavy. Even hanging out with family feels annoying. You start to feel irritated easily. You start to feel anxious when you're not stimulated. You feel restless when you try to sit still, and you don't understand why. You think something is wrong with you. You think you lost your motivation. You think you became lazy. But no, your dopamine baseline has been destroyed. Let me explain it in the simplest way. Imagine your brain like a volume knob. When you constantly blast your brain with high dopamine activities like TikTok, Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, gaming, junk food, music, endless entertainment, your brain turns the volume down to protect itself because it cannot handle that much stimulation forever. So it adapts. It lowers sensitivity, which means normal tasks now feel quieter, more boring, less rewarding. That's why studying feels like torture. That's why you can't focus. That's why you get distracted after 2 minutes. That's why you have brain fog. That's why you feel empty after scrolling. Your brain is craving high stimulation because low stimulation no longer feels good. And this is the truth nobody tells you. Scrolling is not just wasting your time. Scrolling is training your brain to hate effort. Scrolling is training your brain to hate boredom. Scrolling is training your brain to hate silence. And without silence, you can never think deeply. Without boredom, you can never focus. Without effort, you can never succeed. So the scrolling addiction is not just a bad habit, it's a life problem. Now I want you to pause for a second and be honest with yourself. Have you ever had this moment? You're scrolling late at night and you suddenly look at the time. It's 2:47 a.m. Your chest drops. You feel instant regret. You tell yourself, I'll stop tomorrow. You put the phone down, but your mind is racing. You feel guilty. You feel behind. You feel like a failure. You fall asleep anxious. You wake up tired. And the next morning, the first thing you do again is grab the phone. That right there is the trap. That cycle is slowly killing your future because consistency creates destiny. And if your daily consistency is scrolling, then your destiny becomes wasted potential. But listen carefully. This is not about quitting your phone forever. This is not about becoming a monk. This is about regaining control. Because the real flex today is not money. The real flex today is not followers. The real flex today is not looking busy. The real flex today is focus, the ability to sit down and do something hard while everyone else is distracted. That is power. So, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to give you a plan that will reset your dopamine, break your scrolling addiction, and rebuild your attention, not in a fake motivational way, in a real psychological way. Step 1 is awareness. Most people lose because they fight the wrong enemy. They think the enemy is phone. No, the enemy is emotion. People don't scroll because they're bored. People scroll because they're avoiding stress, avoiding fear, avoiding loneliness, avoiding the feeling of being behind, avoiding responsibility, avoiding their own thoughts. Scrolling is not the problem. Scrolling is the escape. It's the coping mechanism. Think about it. When do you scroll the most? Usually when you're stressed, when you're anxious, when you're overwhelmed, when you feel like life is too much. Your phone becomes a painkiller, a numb button, and your brain learns, whenever I feel discomfort, I can escape. That is why discipline fails, because discipline is not strong enough to fight emotional pain. You need a system. So the first thing you must learn is to sit with discomfort, not forever, just a little. Because every time you resist the urge to scroll, you are rewiring your brain. Every time you choose effort over escape, you rebuild your identity. You become the person who controls himself. You become the person who is not owned by dopamine. Now, step 2 is to make scrolling difficult. If you're serious about fixing your life, you cannot rely on willpower. Willpower is limited. Willpower is like battery. It drains, and when it drains, you scroll. That's why you need friction. You must increase the difficulty of accessing distractions. Delete the apps that waste your time, and if you can't delete them, then log out. Remove passwords. Make it annoying to open. Turn off notifications. Put your phone on grayscale. Move the apps to the last page. Hide them. Use app blockers. Set limits. Put your phone away from your bed, because your environment controls your behavior more than motivation ever will. If you keep a gun on the table and say, I won't touch it, that's not strength, that's stupidity. A smart person removes temptation. A smart person designs the environment. Now, step 3 is to replace dopamine with purpose. This is where most people fail. They remove scrolling, but they replace it with nothing. And then boredom eats them alive, and boredom makes them relapse. So you must replace the addiction with a higher activity. This is the dopamine detox truth. You don't stop dopamine, you redirect dopamine. You train your brain to get dopamine from achievement, not entertainment. You train your brain to feel pleasure from progress, not scrolling. But the problem is, achievement dopamine is delayed, it's slow, it's earned, and your brain hates that at first because it's addicted to instant pleasure. So you must start small, extremely small. If you can't study for 2 hours, don't force it. Study for 10 minutes. If you can't focus deeply, do 5 minutes, but do it consistently, because consistency resets the brain. When you do small, focused work, you start building a new reward system. Your brain learns, I did effort and I feel proud. That pride is dopamine too. That confidence is dopamine too, but it's a clean dopamine, a healthy dopamine. Now I want to tell you a short story, because I know some of you think you're too deep in this addiction to recover. You think you're stuck, but you're not. There was a student, just like you. He had dreams, big dreams. He wanted to become successful. He wanted to make his parents proud. He wanted to change his life. But every day he wasted hours on scrolling. He would tell himself, I'm just relaxing. But deep inside, he knew he was escaping. He was escaping his fear of failure. One night, he looked in the mirror and felt disgusted, not because he looked bad, but because he saw someone who was becoming weak, someone who was wasting his life. He couldn't even trust himself anymore. He would promise himself, tomorrow I will change, and tomorrow he